Have you ever been caught by that stare? Your little black house panther is sitting in the chair, blending into the shadows, and it seems like she's not even there. But suddenly you feel it, that burning amber glow, like two tiny lanterns just switched on in the darkness. I'll be honest, sometimes it really does feel like they can see something beyond our world, right? But don't rush to blame magic. Behind that hypnotic gleam is not mysticism, but some truly fascinating biology. And today we're going to figure out exactly why nature gave black cats eyes like this. Warm like liquid gold or autumn honey. Hello everyone. So glad to have you here in our cozy little cat corner. We often admire cat eyes, but the gaze of a black cat is something truly special. That contrast between the coal black fur and that bright glowing iris is mesmerizing. It feels like some kind of special gift or a breed-specific quirk. But the real answer to this mystery lies in tiny, invisible little pigment factories found in every cat's body. Today, we're going to turn into curious researchers, dive into genetics, figure out why kittens are born with skies in their eyes, and learn how breeders create real-life mini-panthers. This isn't just a biology lesson. It's a way to understand your pet better and to realize once again that they are a perfect creation of nature. And at the end, I have an important piece of health advice that could actually save your cat's vision. So let me introduce the main characters of today's episode, cells called melanocytes. In simple terms, they're like microscopic artists living in the skin, in the fur, and, most importantly for us, in the iris of the eye. Their only job is to produce a pigment called melanin. And here the math is simple. The harder these cells work, the higher the pigment concentration. In black cats, melanocytes are total workaholics. They labor nonstop. Thanks to their hyperactivity, the fur becomes a deep, rich black, and the iris accumulates so much pigment that it transforms from a pale lemon color into a deep copper, sometimes even orange or amber. It's like brewing tea. If you dip the bag in for a second, you get almost clear water. But if you let it steep longer, you get a strong, rich roux. Same here. With black cats, the tea steeps the longest and strongest. That's why their gaze has so much warmth and depth. Now, this is where confusion often pops up. Many people think there's one magic gene responsible for both fur color and eye color. But that's not quite right. They're two different orchestras, but they share the same conductor, the intensity of melanin production. Think of it like home renovation. Imagine fur color is the wall paint in a room, and eye color is the color of the baseboards. They're different elements, but if you're going for a maximum coziness vibe, both the walls and the baseboards will be in warm tones. Same here. The body's overall instruction manual for a black cat commands, produce maximum pigment, and that command is followed everywhere, in the fur and in the eyes. That's why we see this harmonious duo so often, black coat and yellow or copper eyes. It's not a coincidence. It's the result of that same factory running at full capacity. And honestly, this is exactly the combination that makes certain breeds so prized. Let's play breeders for a minute. Which breed comes to mind when you hear black cat with yellow eyes? If you thought of the Bombay, you're absolutely right. The Bombay cat is probably the peak of selective breeding for this trait. It was specifically created to be a domestic mini-panther. Can you imagine the breeder's challenge? They needed the coat to be jet black and the eyes to be a vivid copper. No compromises, no green or blue tint. It's a strict breed standard. And when you look at a Bombay, it really does look like an artist painted it. The combination is that perfect. But Bombays aren't the only ones famous for this. Take British Shorthairs, for example. Yes, they come in many colors, but among the black ones, you often see absolutely stunning eyes the color of whiskey or old amber. And remember the majestic Persians? Those slightly flattened faces framed by black fur with huge copper eyes? They look simply magical. And what about our beloved mixed breed friends? The ones we affectionately call domestic short hairs. This isn't rare among them either. They carry that wild genetics where the combination of black fur and yellow eyes is a stable dominant trait polished by nature over centuries. Now let's imagine the opposite scenario for a moment. What if melanocytes got lazy? Or, scientifically speaking, what if their migration and development were blocked? Then we'd get white cats with blue eyes. This is where the dominant white gene, often called the W gene, comes into play. It basically throws a wrench into the works for our artist cells. Pigment simply doesn't get delivered where it's supposed to go. And here's where it gets really interesting and important. This same gene doesn't just affect color, it also affects the inner ear. The number I'm about to share might surprise you. In white cats with two blue eyes, deafness occurs in 60 to 80% of cases. This is a stark illustration of how closely pigmentation is linked to other bodily processes. See the connection? For black cats, an abundance of melanin gives them not only a luxurious coat and golden eyes, but also, in all likelihood, excellent hearing. For those beautiful white cats, the lack of pigment can sometimes lead to health issues. So, that golden gaze of your black panther is also a pretty good sign that everything is probably just fine on the health front. Speaking of health, let's take a quick break from aesthetics and talk about something important. You're used to your black cat having eyes of a certain, say, hazel shade, and that's wonderful. But it's crucial to stay vigilant. In a healthy adult animal, the eye color doesn't change throughout its life. It's like a fingerprint, just in color. So any sudden change is a red flag. If you notice their eyes suddenly look dull, almost faded, if you see red spots, specks of a different color, or, heaven forbid, any cloudiness, this isn't probably just old age situation. It's a serious reason to see a veterinary ophthalmologist immediately. Let me repeat, bright yellow or orange is normal and beautiful, but a change in that color is always a signal. Please be attentive to your pets. And finally, let's have a moment of pure awe. Did you know that absolutely all kittens in the world are born with blue eyes? Yes, even the ones who will later develop those luxurious copper eyes. Picture this, a tiny blind little fluff ball. There's no pigment in their eyes yet. The iris simply reflects light, which is why it appears blue. And our old friends, the melanocytes, are just starting their work. Around 3 to 4 weeks of age, pigment slowly begins to accumulate. It's an amazing process, like a photograph developing. First, you see a faint haze, then the eyes turn a grayish blue, then little yellow flecks appear, and only by 3 to 5 months do black kittens develop that final, deep copper or amber color. So if you see a black kitten with blue eyes, don't get too attached to that color. It's temporary. It's just a little chameleon, getting ready to reveal its true fiery gaze to the world. Well, friends, time to wrap things up. I hope that now, when your black cat gives you that look from the darkness with her golden eyes, you'll see more in that gaze than just love and perhaps mild judgment for being late with dinner. You'll see the result of millions of tirelessly working melanocytes, complex genetic combinations, and an amazing natural mechanism at play. It's not magic, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful. In fact, understanding how a living creature is built just brings us closer to them, don't you think? Take care of your whiskered friends. Look into their eyes, even if they like it a little less than we do. Notice any changes and just enjoy their company. Because having a little panther at home with that glowing stare is truly a special kind of happiness. If you enjoyed our little dive into biology today, please hit that like button to help more warm and interesting stories show up in feeds. And in the comments, share photos of your black cats and their eyes. Let's have a gallery of golden gazes. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our next chat. See you soon.